tonight. Police unleashed deadly force on a group of men Wednesday night, resulting in the loss of life. The bullet-riddled body discovered in Ancillary has been identified, and the far-reaching impact of giving back to young men in society is explored in the light of growing crime incidents.
This is the Hot 7 Nightly News with Lovelace and Amy Joseph.
Good evening. It is Thursday, the 23rd of May, 2019. Welcome to the Hot 7 Nightly News. We're on Flow Channel 117, also being simulcast on Kiss FM 105.5 and 105.9 radio. You can also watch us on our free mobile app. I'm Rochelle Gonzalez, standing in for lovely Saint Amy Joseph. Police unleashed deadly force on a group of men Wednesday night, resulting in the loss of life. The shootout occurred whilst police acted on a report of suspicious behavior from the trio of men. A young man is dead, another is nursing gunshot injuries, whilst a third is in police custody. This is the end result of a shootout between officers of the Royal St. Lucia Police Force and the three mentioned individuals on Wednesday night. The incident occurred near the entrance of La Pensée along the Chaussee Road. At the time of recording, the deceased could only be identified as Arnold. According to a press release from the Press Relations Office within the RSLPF, officers attached to the Special Services Unit, whilst on mobile patrol, received information regarding a suspicious motor vehicle at Reclamation Grounds, Castries. The responding officers made attempts to stop the white Toyota registration number PE3191, but to no avail. The motor vehicle in question failed to stop, venturing through one-way streets about the city, contravening traffic regulations. During an attempt to apprehend the individuals, one individual was fatally shot, whilst the second was non-fatally injured. A third male was arrested without injury. One 9mm firearm was recovered by officers from the said individuals. As investigations into the circumstances continue, persons with information regarding the matter are asked to contact the Major Crimes Unit at 456-3754. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I'm Rochelle Gonzalez. Following Wednesday night's police shooting, which left one young man dead, one nursing gunshot injuries, and another in police custody, the Hot 7 News crew took to the streets to ask you, the public, how you feel about the incident. These were the responses.
What happened there last night, it was just a little piece of the action. The policemen have to do more to what's going on there. The policemen now have to be, and I already said already, the commissioner and the deputy commissioner is talking too much. You'll have to do things, just don't go around and saying you'll want to curb crime and do this. Just do what you'll have to do.
Too much crime happening in the place, and it's time for the crime to be stopped in this island. Because especially we have our young ones coming up there, and you see they going out and coming in. I mean, that's very risky for them. It's and plus for other people again.
What the police doing, I don't think it's already a bad thing, because so much people dying on the street, so much guys they shoot all over the place and they never felt nobody. And now, right now, people can't take risks in the road there, walking. They have to watch behind their back, and that's very bad for the island, because you're a citizen and you are a St. Lucian, and when you walk in the road, you're supposed to walk free. You go to your home at night time, you have to watch behind your back. Sometimes as you walk in, somebody in your door behind you. As you open your door, someone come inside to shoot you sometimes and take what you have. All this is not very nice.
I believe if the youth have an alternative, they will seek that alternative. A lot of people say, the youth don't like to agriculture and farm. They want to give everything cheap down here for the people, and there's substance here. The land is organic and it's growing, and we have to cultivate it as a community. And if we don't cultivate it as a community, then guess what? The youth's gonna get this and get that. How it's coming here? It has to come through some form, some means, by somewhere, some office, somehow.
When I really look at the level of how it is, especially from creation, crime is something that could never done, because from beginning Cain killed Abel. Now if you really have to study that from a distance, biblically, how could it ever end? Even the Messiah's son, our Lord, our Christ, our Savior came, and they still kill him. Yes, some people might say he allowed it to happen, but just to show you how far they can reach. You understand? But at the same time, we as St. Lucians, which is a very small country, you understand? We're supposed to check ourselves, try and come together, and try and live with each other. But that is impossible, because right now things are modernizing, and even the mentality of people have been modernized.
If we're going to open fire on the police, we must expect the police to open fire back on us. You understand? So if a life gone, one injured in the hospital, I mean, we have to make a bread every day. I myself trying to make a bread every day, you understand? And I trying to do it the best I can, the most honest I can. You understand what I'm telling you?
As long as the police was acting within the lines of the law, I mean, if they're fired upon, they're supposed to fire back. That's what it is.
If the cops pursue a vehicle, sirens were on and they tried to stop the vehicle, and the vehicle did not stop, and they even went on. Well, I wasn't there, but according to the news, and they even went on to fire at the cops. Well, I mean, it's just natural justice. Cops have a right to fire back.
It depends on the circumstances. You have to weigh. You cannot give the police wrong all the time. The police cannot be wrong all the time. How about the people?
Still on the topic of crime, police have revealed the identity of the male body discovered at Ansgale in Anslare on Tuesday night. Christopher Hippolyte was discovered at about 11 p.m. with multiple gunshot wounds to the head, according to law enforcement sources. Hippolyte was originally from Bardini, Castries, but resided at Babonneau. A post-mortem examination is scheduled for a subsequent date. The circumstances surrounding his death are currently under investigation. Anyone with information regarding the incident is asked to contact the Major Crimes Unit at 456-3756. This incident has been recorded as the island's 15th homicide for the year so far. Born out of a need to elevate the status of young men in St. Lucia, the organization Our Boys Matter is championing the way forward for vulnerable young men in society. Being recipients of a check from the donations made at the Prime Minister's ball, the organization's representatives say the linkage between vulnerable youth and crime can be broken through continued efforts by members of society. Solange Alfred tells us more.
Young men and women are considered pillars of society. When one hurts, all hurt. In recent times, the high level of criminal activity involving young men in particular has become a frightening trend. To counteract the stigma attached to young men, an initiative entitled Our Boys Matter, ran by the St. Lucia Development Fund, SSDF, is fighting for better circumstances for vulnerable youth. Executive Director of SSDF, Alison Maffre, during the check presentation at the Office of the Prime Minister, elaborated on the mentorship program applied in the Our Boys Matter program.
The Honorable Prime Minister made a comment about single-family homes, and he was spot on. I've said that's my sentiment. The fact is, a number of the problems we have in society with deviance and criminality of young boys can be traced back to the single-family homes. And I will say this, I do not think that a male necessarily has to live in a home for him or her to be involved raising the children. And so what we try to do, we have to try to save these boys. And let me tell you, that is an undertaking of enormous magnitude. I can tell you none of us envisaged what we encounter, and you see some behaviors. I'm very thankful for Miss Anthony. We engaged her very early. Miss Fortuna Anthony, she's a workhorse like you've never seen, full of energy, and she's on the ground. The program is very involved.
Maffre said, aid provided by key sponsors assists with the program's mandate of outreach and mentorship and allows for the development and assistance of at-risk youth.
We have Massey Stores and Lucelec. Both of them have contributed $50,000 each to the Our Boys Matter program, and they give their time. Our steering committee meets once a quarter, and they spend the whole afternoon. We look at all of the boys, the various situations going on, and we make decisions on how we can help them. And we recognize that, let me tell you, it is nothing, you want to take on something and you don't really understand what is going on. I mean, let me just share this with you. I saw the principal of a school ask a young man to sit, and he wouldn't sit. I mean, I've never seen that in my life before. And that is just an example of but you know what? Every bad situation reminds us of why we need to do these programs, because if not, the number of people dying in the streets, young men dying in the streets, we have to stop that.
The executive director of the SSDF said a special thanks to Prime Minister Alan Chasney for his foresight, originality, and assistance in bringing a change to alleviate a roadblock within the legislative framework governing the SSDF.
At the SSDF, as I indicated to you, we were trying to raise funds. We've been trying to raise funds, and one of the things we have a relationship with the USLOA, that's the St. Lucian Associations overseas, the UK, Canada, and the US. And we actually went and we made a presentation to them in England last year. And we've developed this concept of a thrift shop that we would, all of us together would do. And we were having some issues because, of course, the SSDF Act doesn't allow us to do certain things. But at a meeting where we were presenting to finance, I listened to the Prime Minister ask one of the agencies why hadn't he seen a request for a change of legislation. Because legislation doesn't mean that it can be, legislation wasn't always there. Legislation is born out of a need to address a certain situation. So we took that advice, we went back to the board and we continued, and now it's at the Attorney General's chambers getting ready to go before Parliament.
A sum of $10,000 was handed over to the Our Boys Matter program to ensure continued support given to young, vulnerable boys on island. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Solange Alfred.
You're watching the Hot 7 Nightly News. When we come back, traffic police promises to clamp down on traffic lawbreakers, an Anglican priest expresses concerns following Wednesday's police shooting, and the Prime Minister explains his controversial views.